Yeah, what's good, everybody? You have found your way to WoT in Color, the dopest Black woman hosted podcast for the preeminent Wheel of Time series. I am Keba.
And I am Shar.
Jambo, my sister.
Jambo, my sister. We are here.
We made it.
We made it.
Look at us. From a phone call to a podcast.
Phone call, a literal, actual phone call. Mm-hmm. And we're here.
We made it.
So crazy.
We are the boxer running up the steps in Philly. What's the boxer's name? Are you
talking about Rocky?
That's his name.
Balboa. Shout out to Philly.
Yeah, shout out to them. Fly, Eagles, fly. If you're a football fan.
I'm not shouting out the Eagles. I'm sorry.
Did we not just light the sky up green in New York for the Phillies?
Did not do that.
For the Eagles.
The Phillies are
the baseball team. Listen, I know the sports. Okay.
So I'm a diehard New York fan. So we can't. Let's move on. We're not gonna go there. I'm not gonna get any shade.
Okay. Well, Jambo, my sister, and Jambo, my listeners.
Jambo listeners, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this ride. This is going to be an incredible journey, and we are so glad to have you here.
Ecstatic.
So, who are we?
That is an amazing question. Shar, why don't you tell the people who you are?
Who am I? So I'm Shar.
Hey, Shar. Hey.
Bred in Brooklyn, living in the Bronx.
By bred, did you mean temporarily lived?
Listen, we're not doing this.
A point in time?
We're not doing this.
Okay.
BK all day.
You don't want to be embarrassed in front of the listeners?
BK all day.
I mean, I spread love as the Brooklyn way as well, but...
Because it is the Brooklyn way.
Sometimes.
Period.
You know, we'll save that conversation for another day.
Another episode?
Because Biggie was talking about people shooting up the place.
He was.
And then they asked why.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
He did.
I make no bones about it. I know what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. So, yeah. So I'm Shar. I live in the BX.
That's the proper borough.
Beg to differ. BX is cool. I raised my kids here, so except for the oldest one, it's all good though. And I have been a Wheel of Time fan since late 2003.
Okay.
And I'm an avid reader. Mm-hmm. I am the organizer of the Harlem chapter of Mocha Girls Read Book Club, which is where you and I met.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And that's about it for now. I feel like the world is going to learn much more about me as we get into this.
That is fair. Well, considering that you are somebody in this world.
you are as well.
You are the celebrity here. I'm just riding on your coattails.
Oh no, I'm regular degular.
But you are not.
I am a regular degular.
How many Wheel of Time podcasts have you been
only a couple.
Out of how many?
A lot.
Okay.
Only a couple.
But a lot of popular ones. A lot of well-known ones.
Shout out to the Dusty Wheel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a huge one.
Shout out to Barside Chats.
That's a big one.
Shout out to the Lights Work.
That's another big one. So you're naming all the big girls.
Shout out to Threefold Talk.
Oh, okay. So they know who you are.
A few people may know who I am.
So as I said, you are the celebrity
in the Wheel of Time
fandom.
The
Wheel of Time fandom, and I am here.
The newbie.
I am the newbie. Everyone, my name is Keba. I am from the Bronx, just like Shar. Just we're putting the dot there. We are from the Bronx. I love books. I love reading. I love writing. And like she mentioned earlier, we met. I am the unofficial co-organizer of the Mocha Girls Read Harlem chapter.
That's official.
I don't think it's official.
It is official.
I have not gained any kind of a certificate. So I'm going to say it's unofficial.
Don't worry. You'll get your certificate.
Wow. Now I'm 6 years later and I'm going to get a certificate of co-organization.
Is that like a participation trophy?
I collect participation trophies. Recognize me for my efforts, damn it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. But yeah, we met 6 years ago through the book club that you initially organized and that I was just an initial member of, and we fell in love in the most amazing,
I love me some Keba so much,
beautiful way.
Yes,
she's one of my closest people, one of my soulmates, and so excited to be doing this podcast with her because we shoot the shit and we talk all day every day as it is, and so you guys are gonna get a very small glimpse of the shit we be talking. And yes. if we are as funny as we think we are, we think that you'll find us funny as well. So
because we definitely laugh, like stomach hurt
we
laugh.
We crack each other up on a rather consistent basis.
On a regular basis, yes. Absolutely.
And so yeah, so that's how we met. That's who we are. You know, that's the small piece of who we are, right? I'm also a wife. I'm also a daughter. I'm an aunt. I'm gonna soon be a grad school student. So that's, you know, you guys.
Shout out to scholarship.
Cross your fingers in your toes for me because I barely made it out of regular college. Like I just had to, I skated on in and out.
Let me tell you how humble she's being right now.
Oh, wow.
Let me explain.
Oh, wow.
The amount of humbleness that is happening right now.
Oh, wow.
Has anyone out there ever heard of summa cum laude?
You're doing this, huh?
Summa.
This is what you're doing.
Summa.
Wow.
Cum laude. Please, Keba.
Wow.
Explain to our audience who may not be aware.
No.
What does summa cum laude mean?
No. And I'm not, because that's not what the podcast is about.
Okay.
We're going off topic.
Okay.
She
reeled me back in.
How about the fact that it took me like almost 20 years to get there?
Summa.
Okay.
Cum laude.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I graduated summa cum laude.
Yes.
A pat on the back to me.
Listen, we celebrate everything over here.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you
all
that.
Accomplishments. We celebrating them.
I will.
And that's an amazing accomplishment.
I will give you that. But in the meantime and in between time, we're gonna bring it back to this Wheel of Time world.
Yes.
That you have sucked me into.
Did I though?
With your energetic enthusiasm.
Is that what I did?
For this epic 15-book, 900-page.
Sometimes more.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Let's go. Keep going.
Why don't you tell the people before I hit stop? Throw the whole thing away.
Oh my goodness.
Why don't you tell the people how you started reading this series?
Okay. So I started reading this series because my ex-husband, he's the one who actually put me onto them. So knowing that I'm an avid reader, he was like, yo, Shar, you have to read these books. You will absolutely love them. So on the strength of that, started reading the books. And at the time, he had only read the first 4 books. Actually, he only had the first 4 books, and there are 15 now. And at that time, I believe it was only the first either 9 or 10 books that were published. And when I finished book 4, Shadow Rising, I was devastated because I didn't have book 5 right in front of me.
A true reader.
Yes. So I sashayed on to Barnes & Noble. Shout out to bookstores.
Oh, I miss them.
And I bought book 5 and book 6 because I didn't want to have that feeling again. And I basically ate the series up book by book, ate it up. And then when I had to actually wait for a book to be published, what I would do is while I was waiting, I would go back to book 1 and reread the entire series so that the events were fresh in my head. And that's how I completed the series. So book 1, I've read dozens of times. The last book I've only read once.
Oh.
So my memory is a little sketchy. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing this podcast because so Keba is going to read these books and I'm going to reread with her. This is going to be dope.
Yeah, and if you had the opportunity to listen to our trailer, then you know that I'm a first-time reader and that we decided that we wanted to do this podcast because Shar really needed a community of Black women to discuss these books with. And while she knew some here and there, why am I telling your story? Please.
Yeah. So this particular series, this fantasy series, just for anyone who's listening who's not familiar with the series, it was written by a man named Robert Jordan, which was his pen name. His name is James Rigney Jr. And most of the fandom, as far as I know, is largely white. And in my immediate circle of book-loving friends, I was the only one I knew personally, besides my husband at the time, who was reading these books. So I got to talk to him.
Yeah, wait, I just remembered something. Mm-hmm. So you said Robert Jordan was his pen name.
Yes.
And what was his birth name?
James Rigney.
Okay, I'm gonna take us out of Wheel of Time a little bit, because I happen to love pen names. So if you were a writer, mm-hmm. what would be your pen name?
That's a great question. So I honestly don't think I would have a pen name if I was a writer. First of all, I'm not a writer. And I actually don't like writing. Boo. I write well, says the writer. I love to read. I love words. I'm impressed with people who can write well and who do really dope things with words, who invoke emotion with words. I love mm-hmm. poetry for that reason. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a writer at all. Even though if I have to write something, I write pretty well. Mm-hmm. But if I was a writer and I wanted to publish something at this point in my life, especially because I've recently been granted the right to use my name, my last name, I would not use a pen name.
Interesting.
And my last name is probably not going to get passed on. Mm-hmm. There aren't any other in my immediate family. I'm the only woman with my last name, with my birth last name.
Oh, interesting.
So it's most likely not going to get passed on. I'd have to have a kid, another one. Mm-hmm. I'm a woman of a certain age.
Right.
So the likelihood is very low. So I'm proud of my birth name. Mm-hmm. And I would definitely, brand it.
Okay. That's fair. I just happen to think Robert Jordan is such a fire pen name.
It really is.
It just has the flow to it.
Yes.
And it just works well. It looks well. Mm-hmm. It rolls off the tongue. And so I was just very curious about, I wish we could tweet him and be like, so how did you just come up with this pen name?
Right.
I kind of want to steal it, but I guess it's taken.
I wonder if that's a question that has been asked. There are archived interviews.
Oh.
So we may be able to find that information. For those who are not aware, Robert Jordan passed away in 2007, I want to say, from a rare blood disease. So we can't ask him.
Right.
But we can ask his wife.
Gee, Shar, how would we ask his wife?
Well, I probably, at this point, wouldn't be able to ask his wife. But I did have the pleasure of meeting her.
Slight flex.
Twice.
Slight flex.
And I did get to visit their home.
Big flex.
In Charleston, South Carolina.
Super flex. Just come on. Pile them on.
A couple of months ago.
I don't even know if you have any more flexes to flex. You only got 2 arms.
Yo, I'm trying to stay humble and she just keeps bigging me up.
I'm just saying, how many people have met the widow?
A few of us. She usually comes to the book signings when the books would come out.
Okay, how many have been to her home?
Okay.
Her sanctuary?
So I didn't go into every room in the home. I
didn't say you pillaged her place.
Like,
but you were
just
let
up in the crib, like
you were let in.
Yo,
past the gates.
You
went past the gates.
I did, and the gates.
And
speaking
you
of
didn't
the
get
gates,
shot, black woman.
I did not get shot. Okay. In a white area of Charleston, South Carolina.
There it is.
I survived. But the house is dope. And speaking of gates, their front gate. So you haven't read these books.
No, I have not. And you about to spoil them.
I'm not going to spoil. So okay. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I can say this. There is something about a dragon in these books.
Do you have me reading the Game of Thrones?
No, this is nothing like the Game of Thrones.
I hear dragons. I hear Game of Thrones.
This is not actual dragons flying around.
Oh.
Someone has a nickname of the dragon.
Okay, you've already told me too much. Just go on with the gate.
It's a dragon.
The gate is a dragon?
Yes.
The gate is in the shape of a dragon.
There's a shape of the dragon within the
within the gate.
The gate, yes.
I'm not gonna hold you.
There's also a flag. So they have like the American flag and another flag I didn't recognize, but they also have the dragon's banner on their house flying.
Okay.
I
don't know what that means, but it sounds fire.
It is.
Sounds fire.
It really is. It really is. It really is. But more about that later.
Okay.
More about that later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
All right.
Later. So yeah. That's what this is about. We're going to read these books and we're going to talk about them.
That sounds
We're going to chop it up.
A good time to me. Particularly because I am such a book club person that when I read something, I immediately put it down and I'm looking left and I'm looking right and I'm like, who can I run to?
Yo, have you experienced that? Yo, I've been on a train. Have you been on a train? I've been on a train. And even with the Wheel of Time, even though I've read these books a bunch of times, there are always little moments that I miss. I don't know how that's possible when you read a book and then you read it again and you're like, wait, I didn't even realize that. Certain connections I didn't make the first time around. I have vivid memories of being on the subway and finishing one of the books. And I closed the book.
Wait, what train was it?
Probably the 2 train. Who knows?
Okay, because that's where. So for those who are not in New York who are listening, we have numbered trains. We have letter trains as well, but the numbered trains is where most of the nonsense, the shit,
the drama
goes down. So when you see
I definitely live near one of the worst.
That's what I was asking.
The 2 train is trash.
So it's like
y'all know how it is. Y'all New Yorkers know how it is.
Anytime you see any of those viral clips of someone like squatting and taking a shit in the middle of the floor,
it really happens.
Or like, I don't know, there's a rat climbing and having a dance party on somebody's chest. Yes. It's usually a numbered train. It's the 2 train, the 5 train, the 6 train.
Yes.
Particularly the trains on the east side, which are the 4, 5, and 6 line. It gets real dicey on these trains.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. It's definitely sketchy,
I needed to add that back context just so I can be like, well, were you sitting next to a bum or somebody going to work in Midtown? Like
probably both. Bum on the left. Strap hanger going to 3-piece suit on the right.
I love New York.
Oh my God, you gotta love New York. Yeah, so I'm on the 2 train.
On the 2, so you already
sitting next to the bum on the left.
There might be some tomfoolery happening on this train while she's reading these books and minding her business like a true New Yorker.
3-piece suit on the right. And I finished the book and I stop and I'm just looking around and people are just living their lives, right? And so I'm angry because I'm like, how could you all just sit here and just ride this train? Like I didn't just go through the most emotional experience ever in my life by reading this book. I need to unpack. We need to debrief. I need somebody to talk to.
Oh yeah.
And so this is going to be dope.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be probably, you're really going to get a good insight into us if you listen to this podcast. Because we're going to be authentic as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
No code switching.
Oh, yeah.
None of that.
None of it.
None of that.
Urban Dictionary may be your best friend.
If you are not familiar with phrases we are using, you may want to take a look at the Urban Dictionary. Because we're not explaining anything.
No.
We're just going to be ourselves. We're just going to be Keba and Shar.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about these books through our lens.
Yeah, that's...
So, Keba, why don't you tell us exactly what is WoT in Color?
Oh, WoT in Color is, like I said earlier, the dopest Black woman hosted podcast for the preeminent Wheel of Time series, which means you have 2 amazing Black woman hosts here who are going to be discussing the Wheel of Time book, not the TV show. We're not there yet.
Yes, not yet.
Not yet.
Put a pin in that though, because possibly
once I am out of the books enough to where the TV show wasn't a spoiler for me, then I'll go and I'll take a gander over into the TV land. But this is simply just strictly for the books right now.
Yes.
And what I want to stress, and if you are listening at a low volume, if you are cleaning your kitchen, if you are walking your puppies, I want you to take a beat. I want you to turn your volume up, and I want you to pay very close attention, because what I'm getting ready to say to you right now is the crux of who we are.
Let them know.
We here at WoT in Color seek to increase the visibility of Black Wheel of Time fans by adding, through our conversations, a unique perspective that only Black women can bring. Period. While we are alike in so many ways, we are not, just one more time, we are not a monolith, and we aim to create discourse that will shine a light on the multifaceted thoughts and opinions of Black fans. We also aim to provide a safe space for all fans, everyone, to openly discuss the Wheel of Time from a personal lens and beyond. We value inclusivity, acceptance, authenticity, and community, and we will not tolerate any form of hatred, homophobia, racism, sexism, ableism, anti-Semitism, or any other ism that creates a hostile environment. Come in love or go in peace.
Wow.
That's it.
That's a lot, and I love it.
That's who we are.
I love it. I really love that, and it really speaks to me. You know, our values, they really speak to me. I love that we've included that in our value statement. We value inclusivity, acceptance, authenticity, and community. It reminds me of the experience, and some of you listening who may know me, you've heard me talk about this before. My experience in this fandom, the Wheel of Time fandom, on Twitter, shout out to hashtag Twitter of Time, on YouTube live streams, in the chat room, and also last year at Jordan Con, which is a con dedicated to all things Robert Jordan.
Wow. I
attended last year in April for the very first time.
Oh,
and
you're a newbie.
Yes. Regular fan.
Who is no longer regular or degular, but okay.
And you know what else is funny? I would always say to people, oh no, I'm not a content creator. I'm just a fan.
As we sit here with two
mics creating content.
Face.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Totally creating Wheel of Time content. So my experience in this fandom has been amazing. And this is a fandom that largely consists of white people. That's just what it is. And normally when I'm in white spaces, when I'm in mostly white spaces, and I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, yes.
I usually put up a guard. Because the expectation is that I'm going to have to deal with some bullshit.
Absolutely.
Eventually. From somebody. I'm going to have to deal with some microaggressions here and there. A little bit of bigotry.
Oh, a lot of bit of bigotry.
A little bit of institutionalized racism, depending on the
caked in. They can't even help that sometimes.
Can't even help it. and so that's what it is, right? You walk into a room, if you're the only Black person and there's 20 Black people, guarantee somebody's a card carrying member of the KKK.
The NRA, the KKK, Trump.
All of those, yeah, right?
For sure, absolutely.
So what we tend to do is we just become hyper aware.
Oh, yeah.
Of our surroundings, and we put our guards up because it's like a way to protect ourselves, to shield ourselves, to, all the things that we've dealt with all of our lives, all the things that those who came before us dealt with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Oh, yeah.
However, my experience in the Wheel of Time community has been nothing like that. The first time in my life, when I attended Jordan Con last year, that was the first time in my life, and I am a woman of a certain age, that was the first time in my life that I felt so completely comfortable.
Wow.
That I did not have to put those guards up. This space is so inclusive. And just like we do, this space doesn't tolerate any type of hatred, homophobia, racism, all the other isms that we have in our value statement. And these are the spaces that I need to be in.
Right.
All the time.
Now, I want to ask you a very raw question.
Okay.
Did you have the expectation going into JordanCon that it was going to be a safe space for you?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I knew that as long as I stuck with certain people with whom I already had a rapport. From the online community. Yeah. From Twitter, from being in the live chats in certain YouTube live streams. Yeah. Long as I found my people who I already knew, that was my thought. Let me find these people. Yeah. I'm going to stick with them. And I'm going to tell you something else too. Someone in my life wasn't comfortable with me going to JordanCon by myself.
I can imagine why.
Because to that person, it was like, oh, so you about to spend a weekend with all these white people?
In the South.
In the South. Below the Mason-Dixon line?
Oh, baby.
Alone?
Baby.
That's not always a safe space for us.
No good.
So, yeah, my guard was up. My guard was definitely up until I got there. And guard down immediately. Immediately. Nobody looked at me funny. Nobody tried to touch my hair. I had my hair in braids. Nobody said nothing crazy about my hair. Oh my gosh, how long does that take?
Right.
Is that all your hair?
Right.
No bullshit like that. We were all we are all fans of these books. And we all come to JordanCon so we could all nerd out and geek out and have a good time. And that's all it was. That's all it was. It didn't matter what your sexual orientation was. It didn't matter what color your skin was. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered.
Right.
Nothing mattered. Oh, you like these books too? Me too. Oh, you've only seen the show? That's dope too.
Wow.
And guess what?
Chicken butt.
Oh my God, you're so stupid. So, there's this new podcast called WoT in Color. Have you heard about it?
I think I might have heard a little bit of something about it or whatever.
Or whatever, right? So check it. Yo, WoT in Color, guess what? WoT in Color is going to be at JordanCon.
Shut the front door.
Shut the front door. WoT in Color will be at JordanCon.
Bam, 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 bam. This is where the horns would go if we had horns.
Yeah, so bam, 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 once we get our Patreon popping and we get some subscribers.
Right. Then we can afford
sound effects.
Until then, you're going to get these air horns a la Keba. Bam, 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 bam. WoT in Color is going to be in the building during JordanCon, April 2023. Look out for us. We will be probably the only two black women walking around together hand in hand because one,
we're really introverts.
Keba is a introvert. Yes, all right.
Yes.
She will not say hi first. She probably will not reach to hug you. Please do not be offended. Do not be alarmed.
Yes.
She will melt eventually, but I'm good with the hello and a wave.
Shar is definitely the hugger. Shar is going to be dragging. So you'll see two black women.
Yes.
One woman dragging the other one around saying, no, it's okay. We can go in this room. Yep. It's okay, Keba.
I'd be like, but where?
It's right here. It's right here.
I'm going to go stand in the back, for content purposes. Let me get my tripod.
Get your tripod. Set it up in the back. No, everybody's going to know who we are. It's going to be dope, though. It's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to it. I had a great time, and I have decided that is my yearly pilgrimage.
Oh.
I will forever go to JordanCon.
Okay.
Every April.
All right. Okay, well, that's good to know because...
Nothing can stop me. We all the way up.
We all the way up. Who's that peeking in my window? Nobody, because we're in the penthouse, baby.
Right.
We're up there.
Period.
Oh man, so that's gonna be exciting. That'll be my first.
Your first Jordan Con
at Jordan Con, having only read.
Who knows? We got to do. We didn't do the math, of the book. So we'll see. You'll most likely still be in the first book, but it's still gonna be cool.
And I don't know. It's gonna be interesting trying to avoid spoilers at the convention that is going to be dedicated to spoiling the fuck out of this book. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I promise you.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of cosplay.
Oh, please do not get offended if I do not know what character you are.
Yeah, because
she'll
only still be in the eye of the world. Yeah. So there'll be characters that don't appear yet until later books.
I'm just that will be represented. Cool costume, bro. And I'm gonna keep it pumping.
Keep it moving. It's gonna be exciting. So that's it. So what types of things can our listeners expect from us here at WoT in Color podcast with Keba and Shar?
First of all, a fucking good time, okay? Because we're gonna cut up, we're gonna laugh,
shenanigans
very loudly into our microphones because we're also very new into this whole podcasting game. So I would advise to listen to us at a mid-level.
Wait a minute, something just occurred to me, yo.
Yeah,
something just occurred to me.
Yo,
we need them air horns. It's February, yo. It's Black History Month.
It's Black History Month.
We launching a black podcast, a blackity black as fuck podcast,
bro,
during Black History Month.
So,
shout out to WoT in Color.
I'm opening up the Cash App because if you don't do anything this February, you're gonna support some black women.
We're
gonna open up a Cash App and you can feel free
we're gonna figure it out.
Bless it.
Maybe by the time we publish this, we'll link that in the
we're gonna link
in the episode.
We're gonna link it.
Description.
Yeah, bless some black women for Black History Month.
No, that's right.
Do your due diligence.
The magical black women that we are.
But what are
we gonna be doing here?
We're gonna have an amazing time. We have a couple of segments that we are gonna have that are gonna be dedicated to this podcast. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell them about the first segment, or do you want me to tell them about the first segment?
Yeah, I'll get into it. So we decided that we wanted to take a different approach. Usually, bookish podcasts, they do just straight book discussion.
Right.
Just overview. Here's what happened. Recap. And here's how I feel about what happened. Right. So there'll be a little bit of that, but we're gonna focus on a couple of things. So one segment that we want to do, we called it Sis Be Steadfast.
Be steadfast, my girl.
And Keba doesn't know why I want to call it Be Steadfast.
I don't.
But that's okay.
But I love the word steadfast.
She'll learn.
It's one of my favorite words.
Be steadfast. The way out will come but once.
I don't know what that means.
She doesn't know what that means.
But it sounds crazy. It sounds fire.
It's all good. So in the segment called Sis Be Steadfast, that's sort of our Dear Abby segment. So whatever chapters we're discussing, we're going to give unsolicited advice to the women in that chapter, basically. So that's what that's about. You want to tell us about?
It's Given?
It's Given.
Ooh, It's Given. It's going to be the meat and potatoes of our podcast. This is going to be our addition to the discourse of Wheel of Time, where we go through and we touch on the themes in each chapter and how we as Black women relate to those themes.
Yes.
And so we are going to be dissecting these chapters through the lens of our Blackness, through the lens of our queerness, through the lens of our womanness, through the lens of our allyship, through the lens of our love of books and love of writing and all things that are us. And so if you love us, which I think you do by now, we've been recording for a minute, so I think you love us by now.
I think so too.
I think so. So you'll love that segment because we're going to really take a deep dive into how we relate to these books and how these books relate to us.
Yes. And I think I'm most looking forward to that.
Oh, that's going to be a great segment. Because I think that's going to open up a lot of conversation. And I think it'll also be great to hear from some of the listeners.
Yes. And we invite that. We definitely look forward to engaging with our listeners. We are everywhere, social media wise. So
we're dropping everything. We're gonna drop everything. It's gonna be in description boxes. It's gonna be in the actual pod. Like you will never not know how to not reach us.
Correct.
We always have our DMs open. Our emails are open. Again, I'm an introvert. So
but you can still slide into our DMs.
Slide into the DMs are open.
DMs are open.
They're wide open.
Wide open. Wide open.
What about my other favorite segment, Shar?
So this segment, we calling this one Water and Shade.
Water and Shade. So I don't know why, but it sounds fire. Go.
Okay. So Water and Shade. Now, it's not what most of you may think. Most of you who have read these books, you know that phrase. We know exactly what it means. We know who says it. We know why they say it. We're putting a different spin on Water and Shade. Spins. Like wheels, right? Wheels spin. Look at that. Look how I did that.
We're already weaving it.
Weaving.
Look at me.
Weaving like threads of a pattern.
Wow. Look at that. I'm already a professional at
She's already a professional Wheel of Time fan.
Right. I got all of that. No, I didn't. But
she really don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
We're just going along.
Good. It's all good.
Along with it.
So what we decided to do with the Water and Shade segment, there's always a character that does something dumb in the scene. Something stupid, something crazy. And we're going to shout them out. And we're going to throw them some shade. Like, son, that was really stupid. Why'd you do that?
That's gonna be fun.
That's basically what
that's gonna be fun because there is always a character. I don't care what kind of book you're reading. There's always a character that you want to kick square in the ass.
Yes,
always. You want to pop them right upside the forehead. Like if you didn't do that, this book could have been 300 pages shorter.
Or the character that when they show up, you just want to hurry up and get ahead and get past their perspective because you're just tired of being in their head. You don't like them.
Oh, is that coming? Because I will fast forward.
I don't know.
I will want to skip a few 99, 100. I'll go. I'll get gone right past that part. So
I can say this: Robert Jordan did a good job of having variety in terms of the types of characters in this world. So I have my favorite characters and I have my least favorite characters.
Okay.
For various reasons.
Do you have more favorite characters than least favorite characters? And you don't have to tell me who. Just
I'm not going to tell you who because I don't want you to be biased when you meet these characters. I'm not going to tell you who I like and who I dislike.
Okay.
We'll talk about who you like.
Okay.
Once we get to,
but
you know what I mean?
Are your scales balanced? Is this going to be a moment where I'm like...
So there are lots of characters. This is a huge series.
Right.
Huge series. And there are lots of characters. So is it balanced? I think I like more characters than dislike. I think the amount of characters that I dislike, because there may be a character or two that you're supposed to dislike because of how they're presented.
Right.
That I actually like.
Okay.
So, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Fair. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. All right.
We'll get to that later.
All right. Well, we have one more segment.
Yeah. So, are we going to still call it that? We don't know yet. So, for now. We'll put a pin in it.
It's a pin.
But every episode, we're going to do big ups.
Big ups.
You can big up. All of the woman, them big up. All
right, so no, we don't want to get sued.
No. That's it. Blah, blah. So, for those of you who don't have the Urban Dictionary out, who may not be aware of what we mean by big ups, these are our shout outs. So, we'll do our first one right now.
Woo!
Shout out to the lovely Grace and Honest hosts of The Lights Work.
The Lights Work.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Wheel of Time fandom. And those of you who are new to the Wheel of Time, if you're not listening to The Lights Work, I need you to get your life. Whenever you need like really some feel good energy, I mean, these folks are doing The Lights Work.
Wow.
They're really doing The Lights Work.
That's amazing.
And Keba will soon know what exactly that means.
Yeah, I can't listen to anyone's podcast. I'm sorry. I will shout out every Wheel of Time podcast that I just can't listen to it because I'm sure that you all are just knee deep into the entire series, and I will spoil it for myself.
Well, there are new reader podcasts.
Oh.
Basically similar to what we're doing.
Okay.
So you can listen to those up to as far as you've read.
I've read. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if I can find.
I can do another one. I can do another shout out, if I may.
Yes.
I want to shout out the podcast that when I reread and I listen along, because I love listening to how they. So it's similar to ours. It's a couple, husband and wife. Mm-hmm. The husband is a longtime fan.
Okay.
And the wife is a new reader.
Ah, yes. Okay.
And so...
A very familiar format.
Yes, a very familiar format. So that podcast is called The Wheel Weaves.
Ah, okay.
The Wheel Weaves podcast. And that's that's one of my favorites to do when to listen to during my rereads.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And they're still going. They're not finished with the books yet.
Okay. So I think it would be really dope if we had them as guests. That would be really dope if we could invite them as guests to the show.
Gosh.
Because that's another thing that I'm really excited about with this podcast. I think I had mentioned it earlier, but we have a lot of guests in mind that we want to invite to the show. Mm-hmm. And if you like what we're talking about and, we have room for so many more, please, reach out to us. Like we said, the DMs are open and we would love to have you on the show so we can chop it up.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, Danny and Brett, if you all are listening, you have just been invited.
You are.
To be guests.
Completely invited.
One of our first on the brand new WoT in Color podcast.
WoT in Color.
We need some more air horns.
Come on, come on.
We got to get that Patreon popping.
I'm just saying.
Because we need some real air horns.
So we can hire an editor and they could find some royalty-free air horns.
Royalty-free. Maybe we just need to get an air horn,
I'm not opposed.
Air horn. Blow it.
Listeners, please listen to this podcast at medium volume because we are loud.
And proud.
Mm-hmm. We're not the one that you want to listen to when you first wake up. That's going to be too much.
Yeah, a little too much. You may want to wait till the afternoon
Wait till the afternoon.
Wait till after high noon. Nothing before
after
high
lunch,
noon.
After lunch.
Yeah,
when you need the pick-me-up, that's us. We go well with the late afternoon.
Yes. I agree. Speaking of time.
Yes.
These episodes will be dropping on Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday.
That will be our day.
Every Wednesday, humanly possible.
Yes.
You can tune in to wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yes. Subject to change.
I mean, because
who knows what happens?
We're busy people, busy lives.
Yes.
But Wednesdays, count on us. Wednesdays.
And look for us. We're all over social media.
Yes. In the meantime, while you're waiting in between episodes, you can find us on the social media trinity of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at WoT in Color. And you can listen and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, SoundCloud by searching WoT in Color. And you can chat with us on our Discord server by clicking the link tree in our bio of any of the social medias or the description box to where you're listening to this podcast.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, send them to wotincolor@gmail.com. That is WOTINCOLOR@gmail.com. Yes, we are in the emails too. Everything is open. And we are looking forward to hearing from you all.
Yeah, absolutely. So excited.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be super dope. I think this is a good point for us to close this pre-episode.
Yeah, this is the
premiere.
The premiere, the Jambo.
Well, Jambo. It means hello.
It means hello. And this is our hello.
Yes.
This is WoT in Color's hello to you all.
Yes.
And again, I know Sharnice mentioned it earlier, but I do want to extend my gratitude to Twitter of Time.
Yes.
I again, as the introvert, I was like, whoa, this is a lot.
Yes.
but we appreciate it. It's well received.
Yes.
It's felt.
Yes.
And if there's any way that we can extend that hospitality back unto you all, please do not hesitate to reach out to us.
Absolutely.
WoT
Twitter
in
time.
color across the board.
Let me tell you, shout out to Twitter time. I mean, you all really showed up and showed out for us. The amount of followers that we got so quickly. Thank you so much for your likes and your retweets and your shares and all of those things. We really truly appreciate it, and we're just so excited to start engaging with you all.
Yes, this is gonna be a good time. Everybody, kick off your shoes and relax your feet.
Kick off your shoes and relax your feet.
Oh,
party on down to the WoT and color beat. Just kick it. Just kick it.
Hit it. Get it. Hit the note.
Just kick it.
It's a little sharp, but we're gonna work on it.
That's all right. I can't sing.
Listen.
That's not what I'm here for.
I understand. I too.
I didn't tell y'all I could sing.
Musically, not inclined. So you know that's fine though, because we're here to have a good time. And in the meantime, tune in next week where we will be chatting about the beginning of the Eye of the World.
Yes, episode 1 officially drops next week.
Episode 1 will be the prologues earlier, the prologue and the end of chapter 1.
Yes.
So we are. What did you call it?
Earlier is, some of us know, most of us know, is the Ravens prologue.
The Ravens prologue.
So when I was reading the books, and we'll talk about it next week, that didn't exist. And so now it does, and we'll get into why and all that next week. But since your copy, that you have, it includes both the Ravens prologue and the prologue. So you have 2 prologues.
And I thought that was strange.
In your copy. Yes.
I thought that was very strange.
So we'll be covering both prologues.
Woo.
And chapter 1.
Okay.
Next week. So
I'm excited. And you know what? As a YA lover, I'll save it. I'll save it. Save it. I will save it.
Save it for next week. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it.
Yes.
I think that's it. So thank you all so much for listening to WoT in Color. Remember to come in love and go in peace.
And just don't let the wheel run you over on the way out. Deuces.